Avast ye, matey. I be the dreaded Captain Leyzar, and today I be teaching you how to build your Zarr. But if you be a seasoned sailor of the high seas, quit your belly aching and watch the video.
Let's begin by checking out how the weapon handles without any mods equipped, and I'm gonna try to bang this one out in a single take, so fingers crossed and bear with me. The Zarr is a fantastic weapon with two fire modes, my friends. In primary fire mode, this is a legitimate ship's cannon, which fires these cannonballs. I mean, what else would a ship cannon fire? But take a look at that. What is that? After the big cannonball explodes, it's gonna launch 6 little bomblets. Take a look at that. And in order for you to get the most out of this fire mode, you gotta aim for the feet of your enemy, so the little bomblets kinda make contact directly with them. So bear that one in mind. Going for the feet, however, will renounce the headshot multiplier, so it's a bit of a give and take. But if you're on console, definitely go for shooting for the feet with a primary fire mode. Can I just point out that I absolutely love the reload animation on this one? I mean, he actually stuffs cannonballs in. How cool is that, man? You don't see weapons like this anymore in Warframe, so thematic and all whatnot. Now, that's not the Zarr's only trick, but I should point out the fact that these explosions, of course, call self-stagger and all that good stuff. You don't get self-damaged anymore like you used to, but the stagger is a bit annoying, and the range on these explosions is gonna be 4 meters. I'm talking about the big cannonball, so bear that one in mind. In secondary fire mode, normally what you do is press secondary fire mode button and the weapon fires in secondary fire mode. But with the Zarr, again, it's slightly different. It simply changes. See that? Look at the lower right hand portion of the screen. Barrage, cannon. Barrage, cannon. If you go to Barrage, the best way to explain this one is as a shotgun shell. Dude, the sound. Listen, it sounds like the heck. It sounds like the heck. Listen, listen. Hold on, let me pump up the volume so you can listen even better. It sounds legitimately like the hell. Okay, so it's like the hell, like the heck. 100%, and I'm gonna need sound effect volume. Okay, listen to this, guys. Listen to this. That's the switch. And check out the echo on that one, that thundering roar. Beautiful, man. Absolutely bloody fantastic. Now you might say, hey dude, we don't need to hear all this stuff, but I think this is part of the weapon's mythos. I believe details such as this are very important, so please, my friends, bear with me. That said, the secondary fire mode does have a couple of issues. First of all, it doesn't really have all that great range. It only has 10 meters, which for a shotgun isn't really fantastic. Then again, you're gonna say, dude, it's a shotgun, who cares? But the spread is also terrible. Take a look at that. So if I take... Look at that. Nothing. You gotta come in nice, close, and personal to hit your target. So bear that one in mind. Now let's have a closer look at stats to see exactly what we're dealing with. Mod capacity 60 out of 60, and if your comes with only 30 out of 30, jump into actions, plug in that Auto King Catalyst, and double that mod capacity. Now, from my humble point of view, it's totally worth modding out the Zarr, investing the Forma, investing the Catalyst, but if you're MR7, because this is the entry lockout for this one, keep in mind that in a couple of days from releasing this vid, we're gonna get the Warframe Anniversary event, and during that event you get the Dex Dakra, Dex Furis, and the Dex Sibaris at the very least, and all of those come with an Auto King Catalyst already installed. Just a small little tip for all of you who don't have a whole lot of resources. The weapon's performance, as I will showcase, is not... I mean, it's not one of the best primary weapons in the game, but it's definitely one of the most flavorful, one of the most fun primary weapons in the game. Subjectively speaking, of course. Now, my Zarr has been formatted a total of 7 times, and that might seem like it's overkill because it is overkill. I do this just simply because I want to test a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe more mod combinations or maybe a couple of Rivens. For the weapon build, I'm recommending you can get away with something like 4. So bear that one in mind. By default, the weapon comes with 1 polarity, 1 V, and the weapon Exilus or Plexilus slot also comes with a V. And since we're talking about this one, should you unlock it or not? If you're MR7, 8, something like that, and if you don't have a whole lot of resources, the answer will be no. Simply because it doesn't bring a huge benefit to mostly any weapon. But if you're higher in MR and you got the money for it, go for terminal velocity with 60% projectile flight speed. This will help with the main projectile, with the cannonball, with the bomblets, or you can go with something like adhesive blast. Now, I did test adhesive blast on this one. From my humble point of view, it's not the gameplay style you should go for the Zarr, but it's definitely an option. The accuracy is gonna be 100 on this one. Should you go with heavy caliber? Well, yeah, you can go with heavy caliber. I mean, things are gonna go off the crosshairs anyway. Does it matter anymore? You need to be somewhat close to your target as it is. Take a look at the bomb. Huh? Kind of the same thing, isn't it? Look at that. Kind of goes the exact same thing. So what gives, Leyzar? Well, the little bomblets are affected by that heavy caliber thing, but it looks like the main projectile is not. So bear that one in mind. You can totally go for heavy calibre on this one. Critical chance and critical damage. Unfortunately, right now in Warframe, when it comes to primary weapons, this crit stat is extremely important because it determines the viability of Hunter Munitions. Hunter Munitions being one of the most powerful primary mods in Warframe, as it applies slash for critical chance and ignores the weapon's IPS priority, status chance, all of that nonsense, right? I mean, simple mechanics which are extremely effective. Hunter Munitions. Critical chance 17 with 2.5x. Now, 17 as a base is what I like to call on the edge of barely worth it. So bear that one. I mean, if this was a shotgun with a base shotgun mod crit chance, it wouldn't have been worth it because blunderbuss I think offers you like 90% or something like that. You don't have prime blunderbuss, but with point strike and 150%, it is still worth it, especially considering that the multiplier is above average. Fire of 1.67, but it's semi-automatic, but that one in my magazine of 3. Noise alarming and a reload of 2.3 seconds. Now, this is the reload of the all 3 cannonballs, right? Here's something that you can do, and it's kind of annoying. Like, for example, reload a single cannonball and then fire, like you would with a Stern Wraith. So, bear that one in mind. Status chance on this one is sky high at 29%, but keep in mind, this is the status chance of the big cannonball. When it splits off into the 6 little bomblets, the status chance also gets divided to 4.8 per each little bomblet and their own explosion, so bear that one in mind. Impact damage, yay! But keep in mind, this is just the cannonball making contact with a target. If you're gonna aim for the feet, and if you're not gonna make contact directly with the big cannonball and the target, you're not gonna get the impact. Now, when you see radial attack here, you gotta understand this is the primary explosion of the cannonball. You don't have a section that details how much the bomblets actually do. So you're gonna be getting a total of 200 damage, right? 25 from the projectile physically making contact with a target, and another 175 damage, the actual blast damage. Now, the fall off is stupid high, 50%, so you're only gonna be getting 100% of the explosion damage at the epicenter of the blast, and it's gradually gonna drop off to 50% towards the edges. Now, the Wikipedia says that the range of the explosion is 4 meters. But the game says it's 4.9 meters, and from what I tested, it was about 4.5 meters, so there you go. There's one thing which isn't highlighted here, and that's a big problem. The bomblets. Where are the bomblets? Where's the range? Where's the damage? And so on and so forth. It highlights the barrage, the secondary fire mode, but not the bomblets. So over this 200, you're going to be getting some additional damage. The barrage, the accuracy is 1.4. I mean, it's melee range. It's melee range, and you're going to say, dude, why not just smack him with a melee? Because my melee is so big and my melee is so strong. I don't have an answer to that one. I don't have a counter argument, except maybe you like to use the Zarr more than a melee, because right now melee weapons are, simply put, not a little more powerful, stupidly more powerful. Critical chance, critical damage is gonna remain the same. The multi-shot is 10, so you get 10 pellets by default, and the status chance no longer divides like we used to have, you know, cool and interesting mechanics in Warframe. Now you got status per projectile, and it's gonna be 8.7 times 10, so that would be like 87%. It also has punch through. Did I mention that? It also has 1.6 meters worth of punch through, the same reload as before. And the damage is absolutely huge, man. You got 24, 40, 16, 800 because it's time 10, right? 10 pellets. So you gotta hit with all the 10 pellets to get that 800 total damage. And the very large majority is gonna be puncture damage, which is good because it does deal extra damage to heavily armored targets, and we're gonna get our slash not through the weapon status chance, but instead through Hunter Munitions. Speaking of Hunter Munitions, we got damage acceleration, multi-shot with split chamber, critical chance, and critical damage with point strike, vital sense, and of course terminal velocity as well. Now, before the status changes of 2020, we used to have that whole, dude, your status chance is getting divided amongst your pellets and you gotta build for 100% for status chance, and the 4x IPS rule. There were these cool mechanics that you needed to take into account when you build your weapons. That's gone now. So because that's gone now, you still gotta go with Hunter Munitions when it comes to this one, both for primary and for secondary fire modes alike. And what goes good with Hunter Munitions? Except if you're on Deimos. What's that? Viral damage? Pa, fasha, fasha. I didn't see that one coming, like not one bit. As for the last one, the option slot, guys, you can go with this and this one for whatever you want. I mean, considering you're going Hunter Munitions, you gotta go with some extra crit if you want some more slashes, right? If you're going for extra crit, you can go with Argon Scope. The problem with going with Argon Scope, it's not expensive anymore. It's the fact that you gotta go for a headshot. And if you're shooting for the feet with a cannon, you're not shooting for the head with a cannon. Though it is awfully satisfying to land that cannonball on somebody's head. You gotta try it. This is a option. More multi-shot, never a bad idea. So you can go with Vigilante Armaments if you so desire. And another 60% multi-shot. This is what I like to call the safe option. You want to be safe? Go for this one. But in this case, you know what? Forget about extra crit and all that. Just go heavy calibre. This will help everything. You don't have accuracy anyway. Who cares, right? I mean, on secondary, it dropped from, look, 1.4 to 1.4. It didn't change. It's fixed. Or it did change so little that it didn't actually make an impact in the stat thing. So, there you go. Believe it or not, I honestly enjoy quirky mechanics in Warframe. I like discovering them. I like testing them out. Pity there's not a lot of them anymore. But anyway, level 150, no, 120, 50, 100. Level 120 corrupted heavy goons as per usual, and we're gonna try a couple of tests with this build. So first off, this is how you play with. A lot of you guys screamed at me, dude, shoot for the feet like that so you can get the bomblet damage and all of that good stuff. Keep in mind to stay far enough away so you don't get the little knockback thing, unless you have a knockback immune frame. That's also a solution. As you can see, the damage that the Zarr deals is no joke. Definitely a whole lot of slashes into my target. Not bad, not bad. But it could be a whole lot better than that, now can it? If alternatively you choose to go for a headshot, look what happened to the bomblets. They just flew away. They're not reliable at all anymore. This is why we try to shoot at an angle. But careful, because sometimes you saw that the bomblets fly backwards. You gotta get the angle just right upon your enemy. It's not a very powerful build because it's not a very powerful weapon. Unfortunately, the Zarr lost a lot of traction to newer weapons. I still love the gun, however. If you have something like an Ash to remove the armor from the enemies completely and then shoot them with a cannonball, of course the results will be better, but that's cheating. That's Warframe buffs. Now, what we can do is try the secondary fire mode as well, now can't we? And in order to do that, I'm just gonna be respawning the targets right quickly. Now, I'm fully aware this guide kind of takes a bit longer to explain, simply because the Zarr is a more complicated weapon than, hey, assault rifle with a lot of bullets, yay. You get it? Switch to Barrage. Shoot him in the face. Shoot him in the face. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, my friends. Now, if the stars align, which sometimes they do, not always, you can even get a one-shot with the Zarr with a simple build such as this. If you're gonna use the Zarr like this, I would try to go, however, for, what's it called? Argon Scope in this case, so you can get more crits and therefore more slashes, because the damage, as you can see, comes from the slashes. It is satisfying to use the weapon like this simply because it sounds like thunder and it is awfully impactful, and you can get some decent fire rate like that. If you don't want to use a macro, because macros can be dangerous in Warframe, Digital Extreme's official stance on macros is you do so at your own risk. And if you think I'm trying to be gangster or exaggerating, I'm not. Link the cards right now for the full info on that one. That's pretty much it for a standard approach to the Zarr. It's not super powerful, it's not terrible either. If you're gonna go with Argon Scope, you're gonna get more consistent crits. But again, if you're gonna shoot your weapon from that close, And you gotta shoot your weapon from that close. If you're gonna be using the barrage function, you might as well hit him with a melee. Take a look at that. Yes, the critical chance does make a difference when it comes to slashes. A lot more powerful than before. You're not gonna get as high value slashes simply because you don't have heavy caliber anymore, but you are gonna be getting more consistent slashes. So bear that one in mind. I saw you guys made a nice drinking game in the chat, like every time I say bear that one in mind, you take a shot. Bear that one in mind. Alright, my friends, that's pretty much it to standard builds. You can take a couple of additional approaches to the build. Going for full status, while it may be subjectively fun, it's simply not all that rewarding when it comes to to efficiency. It doesn't deal a whole lot of damage. What you can do is get a bit more out of the Zarr by leveraging the high Riven disposition. Weapons which are not very popular have a high Riven disposition in the hope that basically you can level the playing field with a good Riven. It's a good idea, but the problem is not all Rivens are created equal. You're gonna need a really good Riven to bring up a really weak weapon. And to get a really good Riven, two things must happen. One, you must be either very lucky, or two, you gotta be full of plat. So you see how that system doesn't really work all that well. I got this one as a loaner from a friend, and of course we're gonna be using it in the option slot. Now this is a Jesus roll. I mean, come on, look at this. Critical chance, damage, multi-shot. It's just insane, dude. And it also has minus impact on top. How cool is that? Now, my friends, let's test it against Corrupted Heavy Goons level 110. We're gonna do the same test from earlier and just see what is the difference, what a great, fantastic Riven can do on this glorious weapon. That's a shot. That was one single shot. You can even get a one shot while shooting for the feet. And that is absolutely bloody insane to me. I love it. It's truly wonderful. Just keep in mind to keep the distance between you and your target. If you were to go for a headshot, of course, you're going to be getting the... Ah, damn it. See, that's the problem. You can't bloody go for a headshot. Right now, I'm in the simulacrum and I'm immune to this. But if I turn off invincibility... Hold on. Turn off invincibility and respawn the same targets. Let's say I go for the head, right? Look at that. Knockback galore, stagger galore. Can't play like this, man. Warframe is an agile game, right? It's all about that fast movement speed, that fantastic traversal system that kind of the community encouraged. You can't with this. This is just silly, right? So keep in mind to shoot for the feet. We used to have a self-damage system in Warframe before it was removed and changed with the self-stagger system. In my humblest of opinions, it was a mistake, but that's just my 2 cents on the matter. Now, let's try the secondary fire mode with the Riven, and that's gonna be Barrage. Yarg, matey. One shot. Beautiful. And it also has punch through, right? So if I hit this guy like this, I might hit this guy, but it depends on the angle, because if you shoot like this, it's gonna go up and it's not gonna be... It's stupid. It's stupid nice, but it's stupid nice with Barrage. It's stupid nice with the really, really powerful Riven. And I don't recommend weapons that require a Riven in order to be powerful. Now, let's not misunderstand each other. I'm not saying that Zarr is not a competitor. I mean, sure, it's a good weapon. It's a decent to good weapon without a Riven. But if you really wanted to make it kick some serious arse, you're gonna need that Riven. So bear that one in mind. Oh, another shot on that one. Let's bump up everything. With what? Harrow or Lady Mirage Prime? I showed you Harrow last time. We're gonna go with Lady Mirage. Mathematically speaking, Lady Mirage is a bit more powerful as well. What do you say to Dark Mirage? You like this one better? This one better? We're gonna go with this one. I still need to redo all the Mirage fashion frames, but unfortunately, I'm still waiting on that wannabe amazing deluxe skin that we're gonna get for her. It kind of looks like Harlequin and all whatnot. Corrosive projection is meta against heavily armored targets, but of course this is not always mandatory. If your build calls for something like, I don't know, physique, growing power, power donation, or whatever else, simply go for the aura of your choosing. If you want to pump up the effectiveness, the power of your aura, you have the option of coaction drift with 15% aura strength and 15% aura effectiveness. Now the text on this one might seem a little bit confusing. Head on over to the wiki, that is warframe.fandom.com. This is not sponsored, by the way, it's just that the wiki is a good source of information. And head up coaction drift. You got a nice table that tells you exactly what coaction drift does for what aura. When it comes to Arcanes, these are a lot more impactful. Arcane Avenger R5 from the Third Eidolon down on Cetus, or from Orphix Venom. On damage, 21% chance for plus 45% critical chance for 12 seconds. It's an amazing arcane, the most powerful offensive arcane in Warframe, if you ask me. Arcane Rage is gonna be the damage arcane for primary weapons. The problem with this one, it's a non-headshot. Okay, so if you're not gonna go for headshots, you're not gonna be getting a whole lot of value out of this one. If you enjoy playing with the Zarr, with the cannonball for the feet, this one is not exactly the best way to go. But I do enjoy it, I do like it, and usually I play with the Barrage because it just sounds awesome and it does pack a punch. This being a primary weapon, of course, we can pull the little Sentinel trick. Get any Sentinel you want, my friends, and on that Sentinel's weapon, make sure you have all the Vigilante mods that you're not using on your primary. I mean, you can have them twice, but it's really no point. 20% chance to enhance critical hits from primary weapons because you got offense, fervor, supplies, and armaments. Even if your little Sentinel dies and never comes back to life, you will still retain that buff. So bear that one in mind. Level 155, corrupted heavy goons. We're gonna be unpausing them so they can hit me and I can get my buffs. Oh my god, we actually managed to do this. Did you see the cuts? Did you see the cuts? It's not a single take, unfortunately. It's about 4 or 5, but that's not important. Mirage's free ability for a fantastic damage increase, buffed up by Empower. And one more time, the ever so lovely best animation in Warframe. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. That's just beautiful. Now, of course, my friends, this is a whole lot of power thanks to Mirage, thanks to the clones, thanks to Eclipse, which is still the most powerful weapon buff ability that you can use right now. Careful at the little bomblets. Those could one-shot you right now if I was not invincible. Time to draw some conclusions regarding the Zarr. If you ask me, a weapon such as the Zarr doesn't need to be the most powerful primary weapon in Warframe in order to be used or liked. It's special in its own, look at that, own unique way. I mean, for the love of God, it's a ship's cannon. How could you not like a ship's cannon that you can use on your arm and just like stuck in cannonballs and fire again and pretend they are like Captain Jack Sparrow and stuff is happening? I'm sorry. Point is, my friends, if you enjoy the mythos of this weapon, you're gonna have a good time with the Zarr. But if you don't, if you just care about efficiency, if you are at that part in your Warframe quote-unquote career where you just want to destroy everything as fast and as efficiently as you can, this is not the weapon for you. Actually, no primary weapon is the weapon for you. I would suggest, for the time being, you look at a couple of melee weapons. Basically, any will do because they all build the same and they all kick some serious arse. So bear that one in mind. That's not to say that you can't absolutely wreck everything with the Zarr. As long as you know how to build a weapon, as long as you got the appropriate Warframe buffs, you can do some really, really crazy things. I mean, take a look. Boom, boom, boom. It sends them flying, man. It sends them flying across the map. And these are no lightweights. These are corrupted heavy goons, level 120. And they are getting absolutely... As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you got any feedback for me, let me know in the comment section down below. Also in the comment section down below, if you guys want to suggest any particular type of content. Now, in all honesty, I can exactly promise you that it will be done by next time or even within a week because sometimes these things take a while to make. But what I can promise you is that I will be reading through each and every comment. And if you love the content, consider supporting us via Patreon. But until next time, my friends, bye-bye.